So far, it hasn't been a pretty ball game, but if you like closely contested games, from that standpoint, it's been entertaining. Carolina holding on to a 7-point lead. Jerry Babb back into the game for Lafayette. With the handoff up the middle, it's Smothers once again, number 16, the 5'7", 175-pound junior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Again, Warwick Dunn's younger brother, and you know with that type of family tree, at bare minimum, this guy's going to have two things, speed and moves.
And as you see on the screen, 4.3 yards per carry. Generally, that'll get it done in a big game.
Yeah, they're starting to see a few holes in that 4-3 defense, but I'm looking at Carolina to make something happen in a minute.
Carolina 5-man front here. Another give up the middle, and it's a whole lot of room for Smothers. Look out, 40, 30, and finally knocked out of bounds by Rod Wilson. A touchdown saving tackle. But fellas, George, even in your 40s, you could run through that hole and break off a big game.
I don't know how fast I can do it now, but I tell you what, this kid right here certainly took off with a lot of jets. That's a big old hole right there. Yeah,
that's a Hummer hole, guys. You could drive a Hummer through that one.
Even that, I might can't fit through that hole. You're right.
36 yards on the gain, and Smothers now over the century mark. 17 carries for a $105, and Lafayette is going to burn a timeout here.
Interesting timeout. Got this momentum going after a big play. You want to line it up and run it right back at him again.
This is one of the things that Lou Holtz said he was going to work with is the defense. And right now, those gaping holes right there, somebody's going to have to be accountable for those holes like that.
Well, you got to give them credit. Their tight ends and tackles, they're really opening up some holes and quick holes. On just a 3 or 4 yard carry, you can see a quick hole opening in there. And Gamecock defense going to have to shore it up to help the offense win this football game.
No doubt about that.
You take a look at Coach Bustle there, and tell you what, the guy, his reputation, I remember years ago when Brad Scott was on his way out at Carolina, and before any of us knew that Lou Holtz was going to be the guy, a lot of Gamecock fans wanted to see that man come back to Columbia based on his performance with that 94 team. And this is a guy that knows how to coach. There's no doubt about it. You take a look at rushing the football. Who would have thought in this ball game the edge would have gone to Lafayette, a team, gentlemen, that averaged fewer than 70 yards a game on the ground last year?
I would have bet it would have been 2-1 at least, South Carolina, and that is not the case. And Lafayette is very much in this game.
That's right. We still got the schedule to go.
First down and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. High formation for the Ragin Cajuns. Carry up the middle. This time it's Chester Johnson as Smothers.
And Mike, that is Lance Laurie in the game for Carolina. They're finally going to pull out the stops. He's got a tender knee, as everyone knows, and he made a stick on this play. Really stood up the ball carrier.
The problem, as I understand it, with Lowry is that, as you see, he's going to check out of the game now. He can go, but every time he goes out there, the knee just starts swelling up like a balloon, and you just hope that that's not going to be a recurring injury throughout the year.
That's one of the best sticks of the game right there.
He's one of our best linebackers, too.
There's Carolina without the services of Ricardo Hurley for this game. A high ankle sprain as Babb rolling out left. Hot pursuit and a sack on the play for Carolina. Number 46, Marcus Lawrence. Folks, we are looking at a big-time player right here.
Good to have you on campus there, Marcus. Boy, he is really making an impact in his first game as a Gamecock.
And I'll tell you what makes this play really go is Marcus can run. And anytime you can get to the quarterback that quick, you're going to make some plays.
He can run, and he's got a 6'3", 236-pound frame to boot. A first-team junior college All-American at Butler County. Third down and 17 for the Ragin Cajuns. Trips to the right side. Babb working out of the gun. Carolina showing blitz. They bring it. Here it comes. Babb lost it up in the air. Jump ball situation knocked away by Dante Robinson.
I tell you what, our best defensive player.
He seems to be in the right spot at the right time, and he was right there to tap it away, and almost an interception by the Gamecocks as it was tapped towards the goal line.
Well, anytime you throw at Dante, I expect him to make some kind of play to the ball anyway because he's our best defensive back. Look like they would try to go somewhere else, but hey, this is Bustle's team, so you can't really tell.
52-yarder, guys.
And don't be too surprised. He's done it before. Had a long of 50 last year. Also made a 49-yarder last year. Here he is, Sean Kaminsky. The kick is up, line drive, but well short of the crossbar. No good. So this time, Kaminsky not able to show the powerful leg that he did so often a year ago. Again, several kicks over 40 yards last year and a long of 50.
And consequently, by missing that field goal, good field position by the Gamecocks now at the 35.
I tell you what, our kickers hadn't had that great luck like their kickers have. I wish that we can get a kicker that we can even kick it, put it in that game, and we can have a chance to kick it. But, you know, our chance is going to come, though, in the future.
So Carolina takes over, a 7-point advantage. Still plenty of time in this ball game, so you don't even think about clock at this point. If you're Carolina, you want to put some more points on the scoreboard. We've seen quite a bit of different weapons for Carolina tonight. Turman has 6 carries, Summers with 3, Kenny Irons with 7, and Corey Boyd with 1. And Tommy, what do you expect Skip Holtz and his offensive unit to do from this point on?
Well, an interesting decision here. You can salt the game away with a time-consuming 65-yard drive here. And the Gamecocks running game showed signs of really coming into its own in this half. Let's see if he goes with the running game and just tries to eat up the clock and salt this one away.
I guarantee you he ain't going to sit back. Not and relax.
3 wideouts for Carolina. Pinkins gives to Turman. Little razzle-dazzle reverse play. That's 13 for Carolina. Savell Newton at the 40. Cuts back all the way inside the 35-yard line. The first play of the night for Savell Newton, and now you know why everybody is so excited about this young man.
And how about that rookie?
I tell you what, you better watch the block that Pickens put on that guy down there. I tell you what a great block he made. But I tell you what, he's got a convoy going down through that thing right there, ain't he? I like that. And he's a freshman, and we're going to have him for a lot of years to go. Savell Newton, I tell you what a great player.
Nishan Goddard did a good job of getting out and leading that play with really a springing block.
32 yards on the gain for Newton. A play he'll never forget, his first as a Gamecock. And then Pinkins is sacked. Got caught napping there, had his eyes on a receiver. And out of nowhere comes the Lafayette defensive rush. That's 65, Marshall Delistamere.
Well, that's a coverage sack because he had time to release. He pumped it 2 or 3 times.
I tell you what, when you're in the trenches, though, you're trying to make good decisions. I think even though he could have very easily fumbled that, so he just to get down with the ball was good enough.
Second down, 15 yards to go. Pinkins looking over the middle, now goes into the flat. Complete to Turman. Turman with a leap at the 20, inside, out to about the 16-yard line. It should be enough for another Carolina first down.
It might be just short. No, he's a little bit short, but that's still a good extra. That's still an excellent play. How he looks downfield and then finds this little screen guy. I tell you what, still a great play by Carolina.
It was so great I was going to give him an extra 10 yards, fellas, but that's actually to the 25, not the 15. So it will be a couple yards short. It'll set up a 3rd down and 2.
And a good job by 72, Jonathan Alston, another of the Gamecocks' talented offensive linemen, getting out and leading that play.
Alston, the right guard for Carolina. Snapping it is Strickland. Pinkins under center. A receiver each way. Turman the lone back. 5 on the play clock. Pinkins to Turman. Right side, inside the tackle out to the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. Dacus Turman with a good run. And it's another Carolina first down.
And even better than the run, the checkoff at the line of scrimmage by Dondrell Pinkins.
Well, I tell you what, those running backs have been running hard all night long. And it's good to see that Carolina's starting to get some movement up front so those guys can get some running room. Because the Ragin' Cajuns have been coming with their defense the whole night.
Brian Brownlee, the backup tight end, doing a good job blocking. Even Troy Williamson, the receiver, getting in on the act on that play. First down and 10 from the 13. Carolina up by 7, trying to extend the lead. to Turman. Up the gut, nothing doing. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, he was nailed by, boy, he might have to help me with this one. Marshall Delisdemeyer.
Sounds good to me.
And he came down with the football. He actually had the football when that play was over, so the Gamecocks might have gotten a break.
I tell you what, these names from Louisiana, man, they're hard to pronounce, man. I guarantee you.
Carolina rushing the football 14 for 44 in the first half, 13 for 83 here in the second half.
Got a one-on-one situation to the left.
Instead, he goes that inside screen to Williamson again, but this time Lafayette read it.
Yeah. We're lucky we got by with that one.
Anytime you run that play, it's always scary because there's a lot of bodies around the football. It's a dangerous pass, but Carolina made it work to perfection in the first quarter for the first touchdown. You see Carolina on 3rd down, 4 out of 11. 4-wide formation here. Pinkins rolling out left, hot pursuit, and he will go down for a big loss on the play. It's going to set up a long field goal. And again, that same man, Tommy, Marshall Delisdemeyer, number 65, a freshman out of Louisiana.
And he really got the best of Jeff Barnes in the interior line there and just beat his man and got back there for a big sack. And this is a question mark for the Gamecocks, the field goal game. Let's see what happens.
Well, lining it up is Josh Brown. 38 yards. The kick is up, and it is hooking left, no good. Something Carolina fans saw quite a bit of last year. And this year, another missed field goal. Of course, Dan Weaver not playing in this game. Brown handling all the kicking and punting duties. Carolina up 14-7. More to come here on CSS. Welcome back. Live action. Lafayette with the football at their own 22-yard line. A little over 9 minutes to play. The quarterback is Babb. He gives it off to Smothers. Smothers dances and refuses to go down. Made something out of nothing. He's been doing that for most of the night. Already over 100 yards. A guy that we talked about in the open of this ball game to look out for, Travis Smothers.
Gamecock defense did not wrap up. He's too good a back to not bring down with that first hit.
Yeah, and running back's going to run real hard. I don't care what kind of running back you got. They're going to run hard. You got to make those tackles. Hold on to them.
2nd down, 6 yards to go. Carolina fans still holding their breath in this one. This game is far from over yet. Fake on the reverse, keeping the football for Lafayette.
Well, you can say one thing. The clock is starting to count for both teams now. Whoever had the ball last looked like it's going to be the one that scores. I guarantee you that.
And that was Mo Thompson on the tackle of Smothers. 18 carries, however, for 109 yards. And the average, which is the number you always want to look at, 5.7 per carry.
That's a sign of a good running back.
And the guys in the white jerseys are the only ones that thought that would be possible tonight. What a night he's had.
3rd and 6. Carolina playing straight up 4-3 defense. Little pass play to the near sideline. Carolina was looking for the play to go the other way. Pass was caught by the fullback, Wayne Stein. And Stein is one of those guys. He's a fullback, but last year, 3rd on the team with 20 receptions, hardly ever carries the football.
And that is, unfortunately, that is Marcus Lawrence. Gamecock defense can ill afford to lose anybody else.
Well, I think when he hit him, he kind of knocked the breath out of himself because it looked like he was the one that made the tackle.
Let's hope that's all it is.
Well, that was a greatly designed play.
See, he came in there and made a great hit on him, and But, you know, sometimes when you make hard contact like that, sometimes it hurts you more than it hurts the other guy.
You worry about a shoulder right there.
No doubt.
Looked like Thorne piled up on him a little bit after the hit. If it's not the shoulder, it could have been something else, but he's walking off okay, and hopefully he'll be fine. This is a position on the field which Carolina started off the year with so much depth, but then the injuries to Lowry, to Ricardo Hurley, and like you say, I mean, just can't afford to lose any more of those guys.
Boy, the game he's had so far, the Cajuns are right in this game, fans. 14-7, just 7:12 to go.
But I still think it's the defense to lose, though.
Man in motion coming near sideline. Bad play action, throwing, and incomplete. Again, good pursuit on the play. That's Shropshire, number 57 on the hit. He's the other newcomer who has been in on a lot of stops and a lot of hits so far tonight. Daryl Shropshire, 6'2", 299. You'll take a look at it here, Tommy.
Good defensive pressure, made him throw off his back foot. And it's hard to be on target when you do that.
Yeah, and you got to credit our defense for getting in there and rushing the passer that time, because we ain't did very much that this whole half.
So another good play by Shropshire.
Incompletion stops the clock, 6:57 to go. Lafayette with a second down and 10. Babb, all times of time, throws it through the hands. That one was a little too hot for Kemi Lewis, who had to leap and tried to snare it out of the air, but couldn't do it. It'll set up a 3rd and long.
Another big play in a very close ball game.
Yeah, you got to give Ricky Bustle a lot of credit. This guy came in with a game plan, and he's been faking Carolina out so far.
I guarantee you they have played a fine football game.
Lafayette 0-45 lifetime against the Southeastern Conference.
Man, quit saying that.
But I tell you what, all you have to do is look at what they did against Arkansas last year.
That's true.
And they come to play.
So this is the same situation. 7 down, just a few minutes left in the game. At Arkansas last year, they threw an interception.
3rd and 10. 3 wides. Draw play, nothing doing. Carolina read it all the way. 94, Preston Thorne in on the stop for Carolina. The redshirt junior out of Somerville. First time we've called his name tonight, and for about the 10th time we've called Daryl Shropshire's name, who was also in on the stop.
Hey, defensive coordinator over there, old Kosh over there, he's really giving the, hey, wait a minute sign, wait a minute.
Another punt for Lafayette. It's been a tough day at the office for Grant Autry. This one bounces inside the 20, takes a Carolina bounce, and they'll mark it dead at about the 19-yard line. 19-yard line where Carolina will take over 1st and 10, a little over 6 minutes to go in the game.
Demetrius Summers lost his bearings there. He's standing on the 20. He must have thought he was standing on the 10 because he signaled fair catch to let the ball bounce behind him. You don't ever let a ball bounce on the 18-yard line.
Well, I'm sure the coaches had something to do with it.
Fans, you can email us at css@cable.comcast.com to find out when your favorite team will be on CSS. Please indicate the teams you are interested in, and we will email you every week with your team's upcoming schedule. 1st and 10, play action pass. Pinkins, I think that might have been another pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. It was.
I don't know what that was. It didn't look very good. I know that. Couldn't really tell what it was. I don't know if I don't know if he tipped it or not. No, I know he threw it real low.
Yeah, number 4 out there.
Yeah, he got a piece of it.
He's played a good game. Stanley Smith out of Faraday.
I was going to say, if he didn't, that was one of the worst dunks you'll ever seen thrown.
Hey, kid.
2nd down and 10. Pinkins to Irons. Nothing doing. Drug down maybe a yard. We'll call it 3rd down and 9 now as Carolina trying to milk some clock, but going to have to get a couple first downs. Otherwise, Lafayette will get at least one more chance.
Boy, you're right. This is crucial. That first down play with no yardage really set them back, and pressure's on Dondrell Pinkins again.
And I guarantee you, if we mess around and give them the ball back and they score, they're going to go for 2 points.
4 wide set. Irons to the quarterback, Pinkins right, who's looking near sideline, has Goodman one-on-one coverage, almost made a sensational play, but give credit to that Lafayette secondary. I tell you what, they have impressed me. I thought Carolina might be able to pick on them a little bit, but that's Terrell Fenton on the stop, the sophomore out of New Orleans.
Interesting call on 3rd and 9, and obviously it was his primary target too, because he quickly threw the ball to him, but certainly didn't work. The Gamecocks are going to have to fight for their lives to get out of this one.
And this team right here is known for blocking kicks.
Another punt by Brown. Lafayette peels back, trying to get some blocking, but again, good pursuit for Carolina special teams. That's Rasheem Monroe.
Flag on the play.
One of the backup defensive backs for Carolina. And we'll see what the call is. It looks like a false start on Carolina.
I'm sure Ricky Bustle's happy right where he is.
You would think so.
Unless he's confident of blocking another kick.
I'm like you. He'll take it right there where he is.
Illegal formation against the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. First down.
Boy, how many times last year did we see that? The 6 men on the line of scrimmage. You have to have 7. Not so much on special teams, but on offense. That play was called, it seemed like a record amount of times last year.
Well, fasten your seatbelts, guys, because we're going to have a finish.
A strong one.
A little more than 5 minutes to play. Carolina's defense back out on the field. They've been out there a lot. It's a good thing they've got some depth, because there's going to be some tired bodies by the end of tonight. Babb working out of the eye. Little chicanery on that play. Give us to Stamps on the end around, but Carolina
Sniffed it out.
exactly. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and long.
I tell you what, that guy missed him in the backfield. If he got him in the backfield, that would have been on a super play then. But we kind of missed him on the outside.
He almost caused a fumble on that exchange, but luckily for the Cajuns, that didn't happen.
So 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 49-yard line. Jerry Babb, number 15, the quarterback for Lafayette, out of the gun. 3 receivers set, looking over the middle for Stamps and threw it behind him. Threw it behind him, and now a flag comes in.
That's holding. Gotta be.
Boy, Babb was absolutely nailed when he delivered that ball.
And it is a hold on the Ragin Cajuns. So that'll back them up 10 more. And Lafayette, although we've seen a number of draw plays tonight, in all likelihood, they're going to be in a passing situation.
Holding against the offense. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
That's the first one they call all night, ain't they?
I think you're right about that, George. You know, if Ricky Bustle's got something up his sleeve, this is the time he's going to pull it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, first holding call and only the 3rd penalty on Lafayette all night long. And you see on the graphic for Carolina, 6 penalties on the Gamecocks. 2nd down, 20 yards to go. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Man in motion, that's Lewis. Working the slot. Babb instead goes out into the flat, finds his back. Pass is complete. That'll get some of the penalty yardage back. Knocked out of bounds by DeAndre Island.
And an injured Cajun.
I tell you what, this is a long throw. I mean, he throws across the field right there, and then he got some yards out of it. But look at Dante come over and cover and get that guy down. Now, he's a good safe tackler.
That's Chester Johnson being attended to.
Got hit on the shoulder really, really hard.
Right now, he is down for the count on the Carolina sideline. Well, we're under 5 minutes to go, guys, and I don't think this crowd of 82,000 people thought that they'd still be biting nails here late in the fourth quarter against Lafayette, but you just never know. It's the beauty of college football.
And that's why all the Carolina fans hadn't left yet, because they know we're not out of the woods yet.
Well, the Ragin' Cajuns, regardless of how this game comes out, they've definitely got a shot to win it here in the final minutes. They have really acquitted themselves well, played a very good game, and Ricky Bussel's got to be proud of those guys.
A good sight as Johnson is able to run back to the Lafayette sideline by his own power. Both teams 2-2 last year in games decided by 7 points or less. And right now, that's the kind of game that we're looking at. 3rd down and 13, big play for the Carolina defense. 33, Jeremiah Garrison, lined up at middle linebacker. Lafayette trips to the right. Look out for number 2, Fred Stamps, back. Back to pass, looking deep over the middle. There is Stamps, but it's incomplete. Read well by the Carolina secondary, including number 16, Jamaisha Jackson.
Another sandwich job out there. Jamaisha Jackson and Dante Robinson had him well covered. Really no way to get that ball in there.
I tell you what, when you got them 2 defensive backs back there, man, that's what it's all about. You got to have 2 guys back there. And we got 2 guys back there. That certainly helped a whole lot where we had last year, where we had just 1 person back there.
Lafayette will punt it. And set back to return is Demetrius Summers at the 4, makes a move at the 5, at the 10, and finally drugged down by about 4 white jerseys at about the 13-yard line.
Risky play by Summers, fielding the ball on his own 4.
Yeah,
4:22 to go in this one. Carolina clinging to a 7-point lead. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Welcome back, Mike Morgan, Tommy Moody, along with George Rogers. Right now, Carolina with 2 allies. The scoreboard leading by 7, and the clock at 4 minutes and 22 seconds left. Would like to be able to run some of that down here as they run it on the first play. Dacus Turman, but again, Lafayette. Well, that front 7 for Lafayette, gentlemen, has been very good tonight.
All the way across the line. I mean, they ain't got nothing to be embarrassed about. And I'm sorry to say, guys, we still got some more work to do.
Well, you know, Ricky Bussell knows the Gamecocks want to chew up clock. They've forgotten all about winning by a comfortable margin. They just want to win this game. And let's see what Skip Holtz does to try to get a big first down.
Shotgun formation. Turman the lone back. And Carolina's going to throw. Pinkins, safe pass to Turman on the screen. Got some blockers downfield. Past the 25, out to the 27-yard line. It'll be a Carolina first down.
I tell you what, guys, that's a pretty good play and a pretty good play call. I tell you, if we don't get that, then I tell you what, Carolina's looking like we're going to be in trouble. Anytime you can get that back outside and make good moves like that right there, you're going to have a good play, and that 10 yards helps us out a whole lot.
That's a good job of deception by Pinkins on that play. Look to his left, look to the middle, set up the screen perfectly, and then toss it to his right.
Strickland, number 74, and Jonathan Alston, 72, providing the downfield blocking to really make that play happen as well. 1st and 10 now at the 27-yard line as the clock continues to tick. A little end around play to Muhammad, who lunges forward. Oh, they're going to mark his knee down to the 35. Otherwise, he might have had the first down, but there you see some of the speed from Taki Muhammad.
I tell you what, it's a real good run to right at the very, very end. I tell you what, if his knee don't go down, that is a great run.
Well, Muhammad hasn't caught a ball tonight. Recruited as a defensive back, led the way in the spring game with 7 grabs for 149 yards.
Dacus Turman, a good job there pushing out the cornerback to free him for that gain.
He's a hard runner and a good blocker.
2nd down and 2. 2 receivers near sideline. Handoff on the play to Kenny Irons. A modest gain.
Very nice.
Each team with 2 timeouts left, and you got to figure Ricky Bussell's starting to think about using one of his.
I tell you right now, that ain't no first down unless they're going to give it to us.
It looks from here about 3rd and a yard.
talking about a length of the ball short.
Yeah.
As the chain gang makes their debut tonight.
About 8 inches.
You both were closer than I was. Brian Burnett on stats. I think he wins the pool. He had 6 inches. Everybody pitch in.
It's great to see Brian Burnett again. He's done a great job for us tonight with the spotting and the stats.
Well, let's see if we get a quarterback sneak. I've been saying it all night, and we ain't got one yet. What do you guys think?
I'm going to say
You got a quarterback that big, go straight ahead.
No doubt.
Pinkins on the give. A first down. It's always easier to guess it when you wait till the play happened, then offer it. I've never missed when I wait till after the fact. Pinkins should have it easily. The good news is it's a first down. It'll stop the clock temporarily, but then Carolina will be able to milk about another 20 seconds off the clock. Carolina's about 1 first down away from putting this one on ice. And a timeout now called by Ricky Bussell and the Ragin' Cajuns. That leaves them with just 1 left and 2 minutes to go. So an artificial 2-minute warning. You don't have that in the college game, but it acts just like a 2-minute warning as he calls it with exactly 2 minutes to go. And guys, Carolina right now in very good shape, but I tell you what, this was a hard-fought game and much closer than we anticipated. And
no doubt.
You know, everybody's going to be talking about what Carolina did wrong, and certainly they've got some things to work on, like you mentioned. But Lafayette has done some things well tonight. You have to give them some credit also.
Well, a win is a win, and if it occurs, and Lou Holtz will pass his mentor, Woody Hayes, in the all-time victory list. There it is there.
And you know what?
238 wins, and if this Ragin' Cajun ball club has anything to do with it, and they're still in this game, you know, it won't happen, but the odds say it will. We'll see what happens.
And just to think that Lou Holtz deserved it too. I mean, he took this team that was really broken down last year, and at least he came back and they shown flares of goodness, but they just haven't done anything.
Lou, a master of rebuilding. The only time he did not succeed was 1 year, 1976, when he tried to take over the New York Jets and then got back in college ball.
First down and 10 for Carolina. Kenny Irons, the lone back. He gets the feed, runs it up the middle, and scampers for about 4 or 5 yards. That clock will continue to tick. Lafayette now down to their last timeout. And they are not going to use it here, it doesn't appear.
Well, I tell you, how is Skip offense working out tonight?
Well, George, I'm glad you asked that question. Yeah, so far they've struggled. I mean, let's face it. I think we all thought 14 points. That would be about the score at the end of the first or second quarter, not the end of the game. But a lot of people in new starting roles, and looks like Carolina still seems to be getting some of the rust off as Irons gets the handoff again. And Lafayette will burn their final timeout with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go. It'll be a 3rd down and 4, and if Lafayette has any chance of coming back in this game, they'll have to stop Carolina on this play.
Well, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm sure Skip Holtz's biggest disappointment was not setting up the throwing game with a good ground game, because, as I mentioned at the outset, I thought you could bank on Carolina running the ball down the throat of the Ragin' Cajuns. And, you know, let's don't keep saying negative things about South Carolina. Let's give credit where credit is due. Those guys have come and played their hearts out. Coach Bussell had them ready to play, and give them all the credit in the world, and the game's not over yet.
Yeah, and I can tell you one thing. You guys, you be frank and I'll be honest. I tell you what, you guys are really hitting the nail on the head, and we all want Carolina to do real good, but this is a Ragin' Cajun team came in to play football, and they've shown us tonight.
Take a look at the rushing yards. Carolina 139. Respectable, maybe not as much as they hoped for. I don't think anybody thought Lafayette would get 135, and you know, that's been what's kept Carolina in this ball game. And of course, for Carolina, 95 of those yards have been in the second half, and the first half in the 40s.
And one thing I think has been overlooked, you know, you've seen some pretty big plays and some good rushing yards by the Ragin' Cajuns. Let's don't forget, their only touchdown was on a special teams on a blocked field goal at the last play of the half. So in that regard, the Carolina defense has held up well.
And that is the other story. I mean, Carolina's defense, and the scorebook, it won't show up this way, but for them, it's a shutout. They pitched a shutout here tonight. I think Carolina fans have to be very excited about a couple of new players, Marcus Lawrence and, of course, Shropshire, both played very well tonight. Pinkins on the keeper, and he looks to be short from here.
He is.
So Carolina's going to have to punt it away. And is there anybody not expecting Bustle to send the house here?
Well, if they kick it, he's definitely going to send the house. But I think Carolina is going to try to hold on to the ball and try to get this last play in.
They called their second timeout here. Let the clock run down.
Well, if you run a play and you don't make it, I mean, Lafayette gets the ball back, the clock stops. It's kind of a risky move. I would think you'd have to punt it away here.
Yeah, I think he's going to punt it away. He's just going to let Dondrill call the timeout. And then hold your breath on the punt rush.
Yeah.
And the timeout is called with 16 seconds to go, and now you're starting to see the special teams unit getting ready to get on the field. And if ever there were a time where that line and the deep snapper, Ike Crowfoot, if ever there were a time that everybody stay on the same page, make sure you know who you're blocking, and make sure the snap is true, this is it.
No question about it. And these guys are real good at blocking punts and blocking field goals. They got some good things going for them now.
In years past, this would be a perfect setup for Ryan Brewer on the fake, as he would line up right behind the guard there. But there won't be any fakes tonight, I don't think.
No.
Let's see this.
Oh, no.
Let's see how they're going to set up the formation to protect the punter here.
Ragin' Cajuns with a 10-man line. Carolina's got 3 to help protect the punter. The kick is off cleanly. And it'll go all the way inside the 10. Missing the first tackle and then finally going down.
He didn't give him room to throw.
At the 10.
Looked like he didn't give him room to catch it. That's what the referee called.
They might have called contact before the ball got there.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see a replay of it.
Well, they got rid of the halo rule, so that's what it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's got to be contact before the ball got there.
There is no halo rule. That was the biggest change in college football this year. The elimination of the 6 feet or the 2 yards you had to give the receiver of punt returns.
I think they call this not giving the receiver room to catch it.
Kick catch interference against the kicking team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Now that goes back to a couple years ago. They have changed the, if you so much as touch the guy before he gets the ball, that's 15 yards. So they're saying he touched him beforehand, which that replay doesn't really indicate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he got there a little bit early. I ain't just trying to say that, but I looked like he did.
Almost a late hit, too.
Another look at it right here.
Right
oh,
there.
man.
I think he caught it before there was any contact.
Well, I know, but he still got to give him room, though.
All right, 4 seconds, guys.
Regardless, final play here for Lafayette. They need 78 yards. Back to pass, Babb lets it go. Carolina back there deep. It's knocked up in the air and hits the ground, and that's your ball game. South Carolina starts off the season with another victory.
Exhale, guys.
Defeating Louisiana Lafayette 14-7 as Lou Holtz now 8th all-time with 239 career NCAA Division I victories. As the two coaches shake hands, and Ricky Bustle, I'll tell you what, he's got nothing to be ashamed about the way his team performed. It'll be a pretty pleasurable ride back to Lafayette despite the loss.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. One thing I got to say is about Carolina, we're going to have a long season. We got some people who play in the SEC, and I guarantee you a lot of them might be a little bit better than the Ragin' Cajuns.
Well, it's one of those good news, bad news things. You want to open up with a win, but you want to play well. And I think the Ragin' Cajuns really came to play and played, I don't want to say over their heads, but they took it to the Gamecocks tonight, and they clearly anticipated winning this football game. You could tell from the outset. But South Carolina's got a lot of wood to chop to get ready for next week. A nationally ranked Virginia team coming in, and defense gave up some big plays, did not give up the touchdown. offense has got to get the ground game going. Again, we say that, and Mikael Goodman really the big surprise on offense, Mike.
Yeah, 6 grabs for 66 yards for Goodman. I don't think a whole lot of people were expecting that. Troy Williamson had a pretty good day with 4 catches and, of course, the touchdown. And we got a chance to see a number of the running backs for Carolina as well as the Gamecocks. It wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. Carolina 14, Lafayette 7 as the Gamecocks start off 1-0 in 2003. Our thanks to George Rogers, to Tommy Moody, Tom Smith, and everybody else involved. Mike Morgan saying so long from Williams-Brice Stadium.